Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, every human being lives in 3 time zones: the past, the present, and the future. And we move from one to the other. But we tend to gravitate, to move toward one area more than the other two. When we feel uncomfortable, we always move to one area, one time zone. That's our preference. Every human being has one preference. If you look at the past is just the past. There is nothing you can do about it except to learn from it. Since some people spend their life thinking, what I could have done different to change something that happened in the past. If you spend your life trying to figure out what you did wrong or what you should have done different, you will spend your life bitter, frustrated, and eventually you will discover there is nothing you can do about it except learn from it. Nothing. That's why the Prophet ﷺ tells us that message. He said, a believer is not bitten from the same hole twice. If you're a believer, you pass by a hole, some animal, a snake bites you. The believer is smart. He learns from the past. So next time, you just walk around it. Take a different path. You learn from the past. You don't keep saying, why did I walk in this path? Why did I go this way? There is nothing you can change. It's over. So you learn from it. And we can see that from the story of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Sayyidina Adam, we know his story was Iblis, Satan. He tricked him. When they were in the garden, he tricked him. He made him eat from the forbidden tree. Sayyidina Adam lived 940 years. He learned from his past mistake. He disobeyed Allah only once in his whole life, when he ate from the forbidden tree and listened to Iblis. 940 years he learned from his past mistake. Didn't repeat it. That's the only thing you can do with the past. Some people give up because of their past. They look at their past and they say, all my family are poor. There is no hope for me. Look at what I did. Every time I touch something, I screw it up. So they don't even give it a try. They don't try. They give up on the present, so they don't try, and they give up on the future because they're not trying to change their future. Today will be the past tomorrow. And what you do today will determine if your past is going to be a happy past or a miserable past. What you do today. Don't live, and some people live in their past accomplishment. Some people I've seen, they talk to you, when I was in college, they are 40 years now, but they tell you, when I was at college, I was the most popular guy. That's the past. Who cares about it? They tell you, 15 years ago, I worked with that company, and I was a part of the team that developed that application. That's the past. It's fine to remember your accomplishment, but don't live in this accomplishment. If you are still thinking and talking about your past accomplishment and successes, you will not have much time to do anything today. That's all you're going to be talking about. What about today? And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to forgive. Why to forgive? He wants us to move beyond our past. When we don't forgive people, we're always remembering the harm. We're always remembering the bad memories. And when you're forgiving, it doesn't matter if you're forgiving the person. It's not for him, it's for you. You're forgiving for yourself. Because when you forgive, you can move forward. Until you forgive, you are not going to be able to move forward. Your grudges and hate will hold you back. You're sitting in the past. You're still remembering the past. You can't move forward. When you forgive, you're free. Now you can move forward. Not forgiving and living, hating somebody, it's exactly Like you drink a poison and you hope the other person is going to die. It's not going to work. Same thing, you keep the hate, it's eating you inside. It's burning you inside. And you're hoping you're hurting the other person. He doesn't feel anything of your pain. So forgive and move on. And you cannot forgive, and you cannot move forward if you are constantly looking backward, thinking of the past. Think about your car. When you get in your car to drive, what did the manufacturer do? They put for you a huge windshield in front of you, so you can look at the present and where you're going, and a little mirror to look to the past. What's behind you? Think about it. If when you get in your car, all you do is focus on that little mirror, you're not going to move forward. You're not going to move at all. And if you move, there is guaranteed a disaster, either for the people around you or for yourself. So learn from that. Focus on the future. Every now and then look at that small mirror. But should not be your focus. Your focus should be that huge windshield, the present and the future. And some people think that my past is going to prevent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from doing anything for me. I disobeyed Allah so much. I did so many bad things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to do any miracles for you because of your past. Allah is greater than your past, greater than your mistakes, greater than your faults, greater than your difficulties, than your failure. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is nothing that stops Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from doing His miracles on you except you. It's you who can determine that. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, سَيَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ بَعْدَ الْعُسْرٍ يُسْرًا. Allah will grant ease after difficulty. All the pain you had in the past has nothing to do with your future. All the difficulty you had in the past has nothing to do with your future. It doesn't determine what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to do for your future. It's not your past. It's what you do with Allah today that will determine your future. And Allah is giving us an example of some people that were looking at the past. He's telling us the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, when the angels came to talk to him in the form of human beings. They walked into his house and they were talking to Sayyidina Ibrahim, and his wife walked in. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, فَبَشَّرْنَاهَا بِإِسْحَاقَ وَمِنْ وَرَاءِ إِسْحَاقَ يَعْقُوبَ قالت يا ويلتى أألد وأنا عجوز وهذا بعلي شيخا إن هذا لشيء عجيب قالوا أتعجبين من أمر الله. When she walked in, Allah is saying, then we gave her glad tidings of Isaac, and after Isaac, Jacob. When she walked in, the angel told her, there is good news for you. You're going to have a son, and his name is Ishaq, Isaac. And that son is going to have a son, and his name is going to be Yaqub, Jacob. So look at what she did. She remembered her past. So what she said, woe to me. It's an expression of sadness. Too bad. Shall I give birth while I'm an old woman, and here is my husband, an old man? Surely this is a strange thing. She looked at her past. She's over 80, and her husband is over 80, and she never gave birth. So if you think about it, all the logical answer is, no way. So that's what she was telling them. But the angels give her the perfect answer. They said, are you amazed at the order of Allah? Do you think your past is going to stop Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you think that because you're sick is going to stop Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from curing you? Because you lost your job, Allah is going to stop Allah from getting you a better job? Because you're in debt, is going to stop Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from getting you out of debt and giving you money? There is nothing that stops Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from doing His miracles on you. Some other people live in a different time zone, so they are worried about the future. They are thinking all the time about the future. You are living at a time somewhere that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It didn't happen. So your living sometime doesn't exist. It hasn't happened yet. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the future. You can't live your life worried about, what if I lose my job? What if I'm not cured? What if my IRA dropped 50%? You can't live your life like that. You will live your life afraid, depressed, negative, and you will never be able to focus on the present, and you will never be able to get to a situation better. And as a matter of fact, you're guaranteeing that what you're worried about is going to happen. If you are sitting worried about, am I going to lose my job? Instead of saying, I'm going to focus on my job, do the best job I can, and that's how I'm going to do it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to help you. But if you're sitting doing nothing, and they come and look at you, you're doing nothing, you're all the time worried, nothing is going to happen. If you're worried about your health, instead of going to a doctor and following the treatment, you're just complaining and worrying about it, you're going to be worse situation. You have not to stop you have to stop worrying about the future and focus on the present. That's how you can change things. Trust Allah. Do everything you can, and the future will always be better than what you think. And the Prophet ﷺ is telling us about the future. He said in a hadith, if I had the knowledge of the unseen, knowing the future, I would have an abundance of wealth, and no evil would have touched me. That's what he's saying. Even me, as a Prophet ﷺ, he's telling us, I don't know the future. So why are you worried about it? You don't know which direction it's going to be. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? So don't worry about it. You don't know. I have a neighbor, and he's over 80s, and he passed away. When they had, after the funeral, they have something called the reception. So I went to visit the wife and, express my condolences for her loss and all of that, and I talked to her. And when I was talking to her, I said, so what are your plans? What are you going to do? She said, I'm planning to travel. So what are you going to do? She said, I'm going to be traveling to Ireland. I'm going to go and visit the castles. I have this niece. She's living there. I'm going to visit her. There is those friends. She told me all the detail, the things that she's going to do. 2 months later, she was dead. Nobody knows the future. Nobody knows. So don't worry about the future, because you have no control on it. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the future. We have back home a saying that says, spend what is in your pocket today, and the future will get you more. Where did they get that guarantee for saying that expression? How do you know that the future will get you more? What if the future, your car breaks, and you need more money? What if in the future you have a problem, a health problem, you have to go to the doctor? The true Muslim, you spend wisely, moderately, and plan for the future. But nobody knows what is the future. You don't know if there is more money coming or less money coming. Some people spend their life thinking about the future. When I go to the college, this is what I'm going to do and all of that, and they keep thinking about college. They think about when I get the job, they all the time thinking, this is what I'm going to do when I get the job, and all. When I get rich, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to live, and all of that. And when you ask them why you're constantly talking about the future, they tell you, I'm thinking about the future because I'm planning, I'm setting goals for myself. And this is fine. You should set goals and plans for yourself. But goals without action are just dreams. They're meaningless. Because action is in the present. You cannot live in the future and not act in the present. Then you're just dreaming. And you're not going to get there. In reality, some people think and live in the past or the future because they are afraid of the present. They are afraid of making the wrong decisions. When we are afraid, we tend to close our eyes. This is what our brain does to us. Instead of closing our eyes, he makes us focus on the future. focus on the past, but not focus on the present. It's like closing our eyes. And when you close your eyes and walk anywhere, guaranteed you're going to hit something. So we should not do that. All Islam is built on the present. We remember the past to learn from it, and we look at the future to remember where we are going. But we work and focus all our attention on the present, because that's how we're going to get there. When you read the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us the stories of the people before us, so we can learn from their experience. We learn from the past. And then He's telling us the future, our goal, what it should be. Our goal should be to get in paradise, inshaAllah. But then He tells us all the things we need to do today in our life to get there. And that's what we need to focus on, the present. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Surely Allah does not change what is in a people until they change what is in themselves. Allah is telling you, you want things to change? Start now. Work on it, and I'll help you. But you have to work in the present. Do whatever you can in the present. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will carry you to the goal that you want to get to. But you have to work in the present and focus on the present. Some people think that they are waiting on Allah to do something, when in reality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is waiting on us to take the first step. We need to take the first step. Not sit and dream about things. No, act. Do something. If you're in debt, some people are in debt, and they tell you, I'm in debt, and they complain, and all of that. Oh Allah, get me out of debt. What have you done? Did you stop spending like crazy? No. Did you look for a second job to pay off your debt? No. So what do you want? Oh, I want Allah to solve my problem. What about your part? You have to take the first step. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Some people say, I was passed in promotions, and I made dua to Allah, and nothing happened. I didn't get the promotion. What have you done? When people were staying late, when there is a crunch, did you stay late? No, I like to leave at 5 o'clock. When some people, they come on a Saturday because there is a project and it has to be finished and all of that. Did you come in on a Saturday? No, I like to spend my weekend with my friends. And then they make dua to Allah. What is the part that you did? Allah is waiting for you to take the first step, and then He's going to help you. But He wants to make sure that you are serious. Those people are not serious. The people who raise their hand and make dua to Allah, get me out of that or get me that promotion, and they do nothing, they are not serious. Allah will help the serious people and will carry them and will give them better than what they want. But they have to do their part. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And whoever obeys Allah, He will make for him a way out of difficulties and will provide from him from ways where he does not expect. But look what He's saying. You obey Allah today, in the present, then don't worry about the future. Allah is saying, you take care of today, obey me, do the things I tell you to do, and avoid the things that I'm telling you not to do, and your future, don't worry about it. When you're in difficulty, I'll get you out of it. Don't worry. And if you are in debt, if you need anything, health, money, whatever, I'll take care of it. What a beautiful deal that you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take care of today, and I'll take care of your tomorrow. If you want to change your life, the only place you can do it in is the present. You cannot change it in any other time zone. It's only the present. The past must be learned from. The future must be looked at. But the present is where things happen. But first, you need to accept your life as it is today. You cannot live your life bitter about the job you have, bitter about that you don't have money, bitter about the sickness you have. No. Accept what you have today. Then you can move on and you can move forward. Because your mind is the only thing that will keep you either in the past or the future. But if you focus on the present, accept what you have, then you can move forward. Love the job that you have until you get the job that you love. But love what you have today. Wait, some people, I talk to them, and it happened all my life. You listen to people that tell you, I can't wait for the weekend. And they tell you that on Monday. They just started. I can't wait for the weekend. It's amazing. So you're talking about 5 out of the 7 days, you are unhappy waiting for the 2 days. 71% of your life, you're waiting for the good time that comes, the 2 days. 71%. And there is no guarantee. What if the weekend comes and your car breaks down? Or you have a leak in the bathroom? Then there is no good time. You wasted your whole life. Enjoy your present. Don't worry about the future, because there is no guarantee for the future. Enjoy life as much as you can today in a halal way, because we do not know tomorrow. Do everything you can today to make your future happy and successful. That's why the Prophet ﷺ tell us in a hadith, a woman is married for 4 things. And it applies to men. For the sister in the back, the same apply to men when you choose a man. He's saying, for her wealth, for her lineage, her family, for her beauty, and for her religion. And select the religious, may you be blessed. What he's telling us? He's telling us the decision you're going to make today is going to affect your future. If you marry somebody who's a religious person, why is a religious person? Because if you are a religious person, you're going to obey Allah. You're not going to abuse your partner. You're not going to mistreat that person. You're not going to be unjust to them. You're going to be kind to them. You're going to treat them the best way, even if you don't love them. You're going to do all of that because you fear Allah. I listen to people, all of the time. They have a miserable marriage. Why? When did you choose that woman? Oh, because her family, she's from this family. Because she's rich. I married that man because he was a rich man. So I married him. What about his religion? What about his character? Oh, he was rich. But now you're paying the price. You destroyed your future because you didn't do your homework. You didn't follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's order in your present. The past and the future are guideposts, beacons, and nothing more. You can't live in the past. You cannot go back there. You can't live in the future. You have not reached it yet. You must live in the present, or you have not lived at all. Don't judge your future based on your past. It is your present that counts. Some people make dua to Allah. Oh Allah, I'm worried about that subject in college. I would like to make a C. Some they tell you, I would love to go to high school. Some they tell you, I just want to get through the months. I'm always in debt. They judge their dua to Allah based on their past. Why you're asking for a C? I have been always a C student. Why you're asking, to Allah to help you pay your debt? I've never had money. I always in debt. But don't you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who can give you a C, is the one who can give you an A? It's the same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that can not only get you out of debt, but can make you rich and help people who are in debt. Don't judge your future based on your past. I know a person, his father was abusive to his mother. He always mistreated her. And he was beating her and all of that. When he got married, he did the same thing. He was doing the same thing to his wife. And I talked to that person. I said, don't you know what you're doing is going to affect your children? He said, how? I said, the same way it affected you. You saw your father beating your mother, and you grew up to do the same. Your children are going to see the same, and they're going to do the same. Your son, if he's going to get married, he's going to do the same. Your daughter, when she's going to get married, if her husband abuses her, she's going to accept it because she saw her mother being mistreated. I said, you can change the future, not only to you, but to your family, to your children. By today making the commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I will not do what displeases you. I will not commit injustice because you don't like that, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to treat my spouse in the right way. Your children will grow up to be like that. You break that vicious circle, that evil circle, you break it by today saying, I'm not going to do the wrong thing. Then you change the future, not only of yourself, but your children as well. So how do you know if you're living in the past, or you're living in the future, or you're living in the present? Look at yourself most of the time. If most of the time you're depressed, you are living in the past. If most of the time you're anxious, you're worried, you're living in the future. If most of the time you're at peace, you're happy, optimistic, full of energy, you're living in the present. Brothers and sisters, learn from the past. Plan for the future. Work hard and enjoy the present.